Tucker Kelly, 16 Mega Road. Hello, everybody. Last time I was here on February 11th, I couldn't finish it because I was out of time. But you misspoke and made a couple of comments on some things. And one thing I wanted to point out, you had mentioned that I was the one that made a determination as to whether or what the necessary requirements were for a clerk's position, in this case, the registered municipal clerk of Rockaway Township. That wasn't true. Accurately to say, it's actually a civil service requirement as what our RMC, registered municipal clerk, needs to have, and what was advertised with the township itself. And we spoke about you having your friend get hired in that position as the acting RMC that's there. But again, under Oprah, we were able to get the resume of that individual, and it clearly showed that that person had zero experience in that position. Not only did that person have zero experience in that position, that individual didn't have the required certifications. So you made an offering of $95,000 a year for that individual, and then you gave them a bonus of $10,000 on top of that $95,000 if in fact they got the required certifications that they needed actually to have the position. And you also had it to where you would offer to pay for all those courses and everything else, or reimburse them to obtain those certifications, which was a prerequisite in order to have the position. Giving them the $10,000 on top of the $95,000 excels them beyond the salary ordinance, which is a big problem. And you did all this under resolution R24-207. But interesting though, in R24-101, our deputy clerk, who then was an acting clerk at that time, who had experience, it states that in the resolution, and had all the background, minus some of the certifications, but again, was doing the acting clerk without a deputy clerk, was only given $66,000 to do that job with experience and without a deputy clerk. But the friend that you hired, you're giving them $95,000 with a deputy clerk. You're having the town attorney write responses and doing some of the work for that individual. What kind of message does that send to the other employees who have all these certifications and all the requirements? Some exceed what they really need in order to be in this position. That's a big concern that you have going on, because it doesn't send a good message that way. My question, though, is amongst the council, this all took place back in September. You didn't approve this person until late November of 2024, but you were only CC'd on the communication, not the rest of the council. One, did the council actually review the resume to see that this person doesn't meet the requirement of any of the stuff there? Also, when you read the resume, the individual is actually running a business that their hours of operation conflict with the township clerk's operation hours in a neighboring town, and only having a contact number for that employee.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
So if you can look into that
Please have a seat.
and make an example as to why you made those choices.
Wasn't hired because she was a friend. This is not going to sound right. She's not my friend. We're friendly. I mean, I know her kids from playing sports, but I don't know where you live. I've never been over your house.
The committee candidates and incumbents didn't follow these simple instructions to file a petition for the upcoming election. Some of these candidates are currently responsible for our town's $46 million budget. Lisa Caruso's certification to the court. On March 27th, 2025, I personally went to Mr. Quinn's home and Ms. Noon's workplace and notarized their signatures on the circulator portion of the petitions for Township Council. On March 27, 2025, neither Mr. Quinn nor Ms. Noon signed the circulator portion of the petitions for the Republican County Committee. On April 1st, 2025, Mr. Quinn and Ms. Noon were both able to come to the clerk's office to sign the circulator portion of their petitions for the Republican County Committee. On that date, I notarized the change on Mrs. Noon's Republican County petition, and another notary on the township staff, Ray D. Russ, notarized the circulator portion of Mr. Quinn's petition. I'd also like to point out to the court that neither myself nor the acting clerk, Adele Wadley, had ever previously worked on a municipal primary election.
Excerpt from Judge Minkowitz's decision. Here, there was no dispute that there were defects in the committee candidates' petitions that were corrected on April 1st and April 2nd, 2025, namely that the candidates failed to sign the circulator portion of the petition and the circulator affidavits. There's also no dispute that the defect was not cured within 3 days of the deadline for petition filings provided by NJSA 1913-13. However, the delay in curing the defect came as a result of the municipal clerk's failure to notify the candidates of the defect.
It clearly showed that that person had zero experience in